Howdy do, boys and girls. Welcome, welcome. Alrighty, how we doing? Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh boy, this is second coffee already this morning. Today, I have one pumping headache, so sat in front of two massive, great big spotlights playing video games is probably not the most sensible thing to do. But it's Monday, and I've not played WoW for nearly 48 hours, I think, which is a bit scary. So let's log in and let's get stuff listed. How was everybody's weekend? Was everybody good? Chilling, relaxing? What was people up to? Not that people can do a lot at the moment. Stupid COVID. Oh, let's get logged in. Let's go gadget, go. Lots to do this week. Lots to do. Got the Wowhead weekly economy report to take a little bit of a look at later on. I want to start putting together some more constructive content for patch 9.2 now that we're getting more of the answers on the PTR. That's on my list of to-dos. I even went as far, now I'm not super duper mega organized about this, but I even went as far as to put a little bit of a schedule for the videos this week, so I hopefully stay on track. I know there was not much for the YouTube contents last week, but last week was a very, very busy week. IRL, nothing that I can unfortunately share too much of on the stream. Some good things, some bad things, but it's all sorted now either way. So, make me rich, mailbox. Do it, make me rich. That doesn't look too rich. There is 800 items though. Oh my god, has everything expired? We have the grand total. Oh look, everything expires in like 45 minutes. Oh, that's frustrating. Now, decisions. Do we just cancel all of that off to start fresh? That's probably not the worst idea, is it? That's probably not the worst idea. Look at some of these prices, though. Bone Shatter Vest at rank 6, 125,000 gold. No. We need to fix this. No wonder there's... No wonder they're about to expire and they're not selling. Okay. Time to fix stuff. I'm going to go with a theory. Oh, I don't want to have to... Okay, we're going to cancel everything. Get everything gone. Get it gone. Let's just get everything cancelled and we should be fine. What, can we not start at the top, please, TSM? I mean, honestly. There we go. If there's all this to cancel, we're going to hit the cancel throttle pretty quick. If we hit the cancel throttle pretty quick, we can load up another account. Oh, I'm not quite sure why I've got a headache today. It's one of those headaches that's at the back of your head. I think it's probably to do with my neck. I have the tendency to have quite a stiff neck, and it tends to give me headaches occasionally. But guess what? If you sit at a computer 12 hours a day, that's what happens. Alright. The main reason I've not been playing World of Warcraft a lot recently is because I might have accidentally got myself addicted to Factorio again. A very, very dangerous game to start playing a week or two before I expect to see some big PTR news. Bad posture. My posture's not too bad usually. It's worse when I stream because I'm not thinking about it. But usually when I'm just sat at the computer, my posture's not too bad. My chair's locked in an upright position. My desk is deliberately at the right height. But when I'm streaming, it tends to get a little bit worse because I tend to be leaning over more for the microphone, and I'm looking at like different things a lot. But yeah, when you sit at a computer for a long ass time, tends to be what happens. Everything on this realm, Taron Mills, probably completely expired then. We got loads of... Luckily, we shouldn't have to do too much cancelling this morning. We can just throw everything back up. I didn't do my restock of legendaries yesterday either. That might be on the cards today. We might need to do quite a chunky restock. I can't possibly tell what we need to do, because until you've cleaned out your mailbox, you can't really see what you have and what you don't have. Normally I do my restocking of legendaries on a Sunday, but I might have accidentally been playing Factorio all day yesterday, so I didn't even log on to recraft legendaries. I'm such a terrible person. This goblin is never going to get rich. Yep, lots of expireds. Yep, empty auction house. Okay, well that one is easier to manage then. Should we just go the full hog and get a third auction house open at the same time? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Right, that's really stuck now. There's already $250,000 in this mailbox. What did we... 300,000 gold? Oh, what's going on here? Why am I getting mails of Shadowghast ingots being sent to me? That worries me. Does that mean... Hang on, have they... Is that a return? Who's mailing me 1,700 Shadowghast ingots? Oh, oh my god, has it literally been 30 days since I'm starting to get things being returned to me in the mailbox? Okay. This realm's just been on autopilot for a while then. Oops. I should not be letting items expire in the mailbox. That's tragic. $36 to go. 35. Project Draenor. Let's see. I really, really need this dude to have a big, chunky mailbox. I might have accidentally spent all of my gold on crafting some rank 2 legendaries for jewel crafting. To the extent that I worry that I don't have enough gold to actually do a restock on my regular crafts, which was a bad decision. This weekend was lots of bad decisions were made. Choosing to play Factorio most of the weekend was bad decision number 1. Bad decision number 2 was spending all of my gold. Oh well, we've got 70,000 gold still. Maybe it wasn't quite all of it. Maybe it will be okay. Sorry, I'm gonna bounce around accounts quite a lot at the moment, just because I'm trying to min-max auction house throttle and mailbox looting speeds. Goldberg, welcome. I love it how I log on to the different realms and different people say hi to me. People are listening.
My inventory is full.
Was not drunken spending, was it? No. Not a single drop of alcohol touched my lips this weekend. I tend not to drink so much when I'm in the house, and you know, with COVID being a thing, and you're in the house a lot, it's not so easy to just go out to the bar or something. Well, not as enjoyable, I should say. So I tend to only drink when, you know, social events happen, Christmases, birthday parties, that sort of stuff. But there's not so much of that going on at the moment, so How we doing, Seducer? Welcome in. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're well. I think though I'm starting to get to the point where I'm confidently stocked with materials. I think the only thing I'm seriously lacking on is Corthite crystals, but there's next to nothing I can do about that. They're 700 to 800 gold a piece consistently on my main realm. I might have a few of them already, but I'm already concerned that just restocking today will destroy my stockpile of Corthite crystals. There's physically not enough Corthite crystals available on the market to even consider holding a stock of them, which is a terrible situation. I mean, because obviously I foresee if they're short in supply now, come patch 9.2, they are going to just be gone. Literally, just they won't exist. If they're short in supply now, we're in real trouble. What it does mean, though, is that it's likely to push the price of rank 6s to just an absurd level, which is a good thing and a bad thing, depending on when we get rank 7. If we get rank 7 early, we might be okay, but just set myself up on a new realm, couldn't be bothered to level tune, so just bought 5 character boosts. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I leveled a character, you know, somewhat naturally. Nearly every time I get a new character now, it's a boost, which is a sad state of affairs, but honestly, the leveling process is so mundane now that you've done it 500 times. There's nothing really exciting about it, so it's one of those. I actually don't want to buy any of these. Corthite shortage is getting worse. Yesterday I couldn't even fully restock. Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I think I usually need about 3,000 Corthite crystals every time I do a restock. Between 3,000 to 5,000 Corthite crystals. And I just can't get my hands on enough of them. I physically can't buy enough of them to meet demand. Which in turn is meaning that my overall legendary price is going up and up and up. But it seems to not be making much difference. Because people still want them and are still buying them. The demand for rank 6s is still there. People are getting their ults ready. They're getting those last upgrades for their characters. At least I can go as far as to say the demand for rank 6s is still high enough that it is outstripping the supply of Corthite crystals. So prices are steadily increasing, which is a really weird situation to be in. All of the other materials are crashing in price, whilst Corthite crystals just going up. And there seems to be no stop to it. Only a total of 838 Corthite crystals on the auction house. Yeah, that's shocking. That's like 20 legendaries. Literally 20 legendaries. Do you think it's possible that the new Vestige could end up being cheap since the new Pog essence can be farmed through herbing and mining? Then we don't really need Corthite anymore. We could just build rank 6s with a rank 3 plus the new Vestige. Well, I've thought that, but the likelihood is this new Pog essence, although I haven't... One thing that's on my list of to-dos this week, I have a list of to-dos for this week. Sneak preview for any of you guys paying attention this morning. Progenitor Essentia is my focus for Thursday's video this week. Meaning that I want to get a little bit of farming done ahead. I want to see if we can start gathering them, see if we can get access to them, in roughly what sort of speed and quantity do we get them. Because I presume that will be the bottleneck. Almost for sure. Now, if you can just, 24 hours a day farm the things through herbing and mining, what we might also see is that people are going out of their way to farm these Pog essences, ultimately trashing the price of the new herb and ore, which could be a very weird situation to be in. All of the value of the farming will come from the Pog essence, meaning that people will just be selling their herbs and ore for as much as they can get, in theory. But that's like I said, that's just a theory at this point. We need to first find out, well, just how easy is farming out in ZM. We also need to find out just what on average should we expect Pog Essence wise. Then once we get a good idea of roughly how many of them that we're getting in, I don't know, a fixed time frame, then we can start seeing if the material balancing of the vestiges makes sense, or whether we think that it's going to get, you know, drastically changed. But yeah, at this point I'm not sure. What would really be handy to have is flying on the PTR, which, unless I actively play Zereth Mortis frequently, I'm not going to get, because, you know, it's fucking time gated. It's like, who in their right mind puts time gating on a testing platform, Blizzard? Why do I have to do 17 days of time gated content on the PTR just to test your goddamn PTR effectively? Super frustrating. I would want to go out there and I'd want to fly around and I'd want to see things and have quick access to things. That's the point of a test platform, you know. But hey, what are you gonna do? We'll have to do what we can do. Just sold 10 rank 6 rings on Turin Mill. They flew off the shelves. They probably will. They probably will. If you're actually actively crafting and selling them, you're in a good spot right now. Opened WoW straight into an auction house, bought out every crystal under 800 gold, not taking any chances for a partial restock. Yeah, they need to test the time gating. Yeah, sure. That's the most crucial thing to get right, obviously. Let's not give people the proper ability to test the zone and make sure that it all looks right and balances correctly. No, let's make sure that people do have to wait exactly 17 days to have access to flying after they've learnt it already for the 12th time. Not salty, not at all. Might be a more realistic farm for material levels to not have flying, especially for the first few days. Yeah, sure, I get. Yeah, absolutely. But you kind of want to see both ends of the story. That's kind of the point. You want to see, right, well, how limited are they going to be? What's the shortage going to be like in those first 2 weeks before people have flying? Then what's the market going to look like when people can fly? Are we then going to see literally double of them, like the second people start being able to fly? What's the you know, how's the landscape going to look? Right, we'll casually work our way through these. This lot is posted. Let's grab all of these out. Damn, I did over 500k of sales without a single cancel scan on Turin Mill. That's unheard of. What did I sell? Three pairs of Grimvale. Whoa, my tailoring stuff just got bought out. 3 sets of Grimvale robes. 3 sets of Grimvale pants. Odds on somebody just buying those out as a reset. That must have been. Somebody reset a market and decided to buy mine instead of crafting them themselves. Sort of makes sense. Is this? Yeah, this is items are being returned to me because I've not even logged on to this character for that. Does that mean it's whoa, okay, that's quite scary. I need to get some stuff done on this realm. What are we saying on Corthite crystal price over here? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing now, are we? I tell you what. That's a bold move. A bold move this early on. But that's a bold move. It's also not outside the realms of possibility. I mean, imagine that, 3,000 gold for your Corthite crystals again. That's like day one prices. Day one prices of Corthite crystals. Is this the start of Shadowlands? Yeah, is this 6 months ago? Okay, well, safe to say I'm not buying any of those today. I'm not planning on doing much of any sort of restocking over here anyway, but that price won't move down very fast. Why would it? Why would it? That's probably why somebody was buying out my... Has somebody made a move? Has somebody made a play on the fact that I had a whole bunch of my stuff bought out? Hang on. Grimveiled summon. Let's go to the big stuff. Where do these 175s come from? Somebody's worked out how to make these. Somebody's genuinely worked out how to make these 175s. Or somebody's yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Somebody's worked out how you make 175s. Uh, 15.8. What did I sell a whole bunch of? It was Grimveiled. Was it? Let's check the ledger real quick. Revenue, sales. 3 set by the player named Ingot. Yeah, okay. Bought all 3 of them. Ingot bought all of mine. Okay, sure. So why did they decide to buy 6 of my rank 6 legendaries? Grimveiled robes and pants. Grimveiled robe. Interesting choice, because they're now not back on the auction house. Grimveiled robe. Grimveiled... What did I say? Vest? No, there isn't a Grimveiled robe. The vest. Grimveiled... What was it? Pants, maybe? Pants at 262. They're now back at... Odd. One dude bought 6 rank 6 legendaries off me. The question is why? I mean, unless there's somebody's crafting cap. Very odd. Alright, fine. Sure. Ingot playing the long game? Apparently so. Ingot bought my 16 rank 6 Legos, made like 15 to 20,000 profit on each. Maybe you transferred them to another server. That's also entirely possible. Somebody could be cashing out, buying cheap rank 6 Legos, filling a guild bank, taking it somewhere else. Maybe. If your character name is Ingot, you are absolutely definitely, you know, playing the goblin game. No. That character was probably made to craft Shadowghast ingots, you know. Either way, all fun and games. Let's get the rest of these listed then. Hey, if somebody wants to make a play and buy all of my legendaries off me, they are welcome to it. I'll, you know, I'll craft them again. Sure. Not when Corthite crystals are 2,500 gold a piece, but they won't stay like that for too long. Maybe you can get reset the Corthite crystals too. Possibly. It's a bold move though, because I mean that's big ball plays. Now I know there's people on this realm that have got quite literally hundreds of millions of gold, so they can piss about and spend a couple of gold caps and not worry about it. But considering we are still a good few weeks away from 9.2, that's quite a play if that's the case. Either way, I don't mind, fine by me. Market resets are only good for goblins, so we are... Oh wow, look, yeah, we are genuinely bled dry on tailoring stuff. I've only got 44 rank 6 legendaries left. Oh my days. Yeah, probably need to do a restock over here. Not when Corthite crystals are 2,500 gold a piece though. Not when Corthite crystals are 2,500 gold a piece though. We've still done... See, this is what happens when you don't do restocks and you just sell out your inventory. 4 million gold this month on this realm, and I have quite literally barely done more than relist my auctions daily. Not a single cancel scan has been done. Now obviously this profit that we've made will probably get spent again restocking, but you just shave off the 10% somewhere along the lines. Right, that realm, I guess then for now at least, is just done. We'll come back to that when we need. Let's focus on the others. Go gadget, go. See, the difficulty in resetting material markets, even something as valuable as Corthite crystals, the problem with resetting material markets is you're not usually fighting against other goblins. Now, sure, if another goblin sees a market reset has happened, they're probably going to go, "Ooh, opportunity to make some gold here," and they'll cash in. The problem is with materials though, is you're dealing with General Joe that just happens to get some of these materials that genuinely does not care. They just will put them on the auction house for any price that they think is acceptable. They're rarely then going to be using auction house add-ons. They'll just go in and they'll see them at 2,500 gold, and somebody will go, "Nah, fuck this business." They'll put them in there for 1,000, and then your reset's dead instantly because everybody piles in under that 1,000 point. So this is why material resets are super dangerous, and I never really recommend people do them. More often than not, even with a lot of experience with what you're doing, you probably are not going to come out of that too healthily. Sure, if the market is currently at like 60% value and you reset it to like 90%, then you've got a chance to make some gold. But unless you have a backup plan for material resetting the material markets, you need that backup plan. That backup plan has got to be, if I can't resell these for more than I bought them for, what am I going to be crafting with it? And that's the way that you kind of have to look at it. Give yourself that get out of jail free. What can I craft with these materials if my flip does not work? And more often than not, you'll end up crafting with them. I'm spending more time watching material prices than actually selling stuff. Yeah, I feel that as well. There's no doubt in my mind that if we get, even if we get rank 7s relatively quickly, that Corthite crystals and rank 6s are going to go back to the same sort of prices they were when Corthia came out 6 months ago. Because, you know, at 1,000, 1,500 gold for each Corthite crystal, there's no choice but to be listing rank 6s for 100k plus. It's going to be wild. It's going to be absolutely wild. But that's the fun of goal making, right? When everything is, you know, predictable and normal, then it gets boring very quickly. That little bit of chaos, that little bit of unpredictability is often where you make a lot of your profit from. Ooh. Got some good gold here. Have we got anything listed? Oh, god damn, I hate to see everything being... there's not much an hour left. There's still too much to cancel everything, though. Annoying, sure. Suppose that's the downside of having a material linked to a patch zone. It's also the downside of no longer do we play the expansion, we play the patch. More and more so. So much nowadays. Like you only need to go back a couple of expansions, and what you were doing at the beginning of the expansion would still be somewhat relevant towards the end of it. Nowadays, though, I mean, look at Corthite crystals. Corthite crystals are for the entirety a one-patch wonder. They weren't in patch 9.0, and they basically won't be in patch 9.2. 9.1, boom, Corthite crystal. And a legendary material at that. It's going to be really strange to see how it plays out. Will people even have the 9.2 version of the Cinder to make 2 rank 7s? Otherwise, will people all buy rank 6s in the meantime? That is entirely feasible, yeah. There's a good chance that people won't have enough, what's it called, Cosmic Flux, to craft everything that they want to craft. Especially that we already know that this Cosmic Flux is used for more than just upgrading your legendary. It's also going to be a primary component for crafting tier set pieces. When I say crafting tier set pieces, there's a system, I've not looked into it in too much detail, but where you can take, say, a regular chest piece, throw some Cosmic Flux at it, and it will create your chest tier set piece. So it will give people a way to focus the tier set pieces that they want to build out their character the way that they want. So sure, you only need 4 of the tier set pieces to get the set, but you won't be totally waiting on the RNG gods to just get the pieces and put it together based on RNG. You'll have a little bit more control over, right, well, the four tier pieces I want is this one, this one, this one, this one, and I will do what I can do to make sure that those 4 are the ones that I get. And there are going to be systems in place to allow people to, you know, build their gear set the way that they want it to. And the way that they will want to do it will be dictated by, you know, the Icy Veins and the Wowhead guides and the simmers who work out which is the best way of doing things. Most won't buy rank 6s because they've already got them. No, most won't have them though. This is the thing. Most people won't have them. You forget just how many people are not playing the game right now compared to how many people will come back for patch 9.2. People didn't come back for 9.1.5. People played the early days of Corthia. They did the raid, they did what they did, and they're probably playing Final Fantasy now. Most people, sure, they might have their rank 6 on their main character, but A, you forget that everything changes every patch. The legendary that they're currently wearing now, there's a 50-50 chance that it will not be the legendary that they'll want to be wearing in 9.2. So, in many cases, people will be making a new one regardless. I genuinely think it will almost end up being a complete reset. Meaning that everybody, or the majority at least, will want to not only be crafting a rank 7 very quickly, but they will probably be wanting to craft a second one very quickly as well. And the legendary belt, I don't think, if it stays the way that it is right now, is going to have much of a difference on that. Simply because you can't get the belt till you're revered anyway, which is going to take a while. The whole system's going to be very, very lucrative. There's so many hurdles and pitfalls for people to go through, when the easy option is always going to be go to the auction house and buy a new one. That will always be the easiest option. So for as long as goblins can sell people their best in slot gear, you're absolutely laughing all the way to the bank. All the way to the bank. Interesting thing about the Fury Warrior tier set, the Kyrian Covenant is recommended before you get the 4-piece bonus, but after you get the 4-piece bonus, you're then going to switch to Necrolord, which will in turn mean recrafting the Lego again. Same player could go through 6 Legos on one character. Well, don't forget that if you attach the Unity power changes dependent on which Covenant you're in. specifically so that you don't need to recraft your legendary again. But of course, if you then need it in a different slot, then that's, you know, that's a different story. But yeah, this is the thing, that people will work towards a pre-tier set BIS list and then a post-tier set BIS list. It's all crazy. People's gear, you got to remember that gearing is a progression system, and this is why people might end up switching their legendaries like halfway through a tier, and why to this very day, every single Wednesday we sell bazillions of legendaries. We don't know if people are buying them to just upgrade, or whether they're buying them to make a new one, or whether they're just buying another one to have the complete set of options available to them. There are people out there that, you know, there's 5 different legendaries that they could use to feel as if they're playing optimally. They will craft all 5 of them. Preach was a really good example of this. Look back in the days when Preach was maining whatever class he was playing. One of the biggest reasons why he didn't want to play a druid was for the fact that he would feel obliged to have 4 specs geared and ready to go, because that's just how he played the game. He wanted to know that at any moment he could step into any piece of content and be competitive in it. Whether it be a healer, a tank, a boomkin, or even feral. He wanted to have gear ready and on the go for all of those different opportunities just by playing one character. There is many people out there that think in that way, that they just want to be prepared for every opportunity, and so hence they'll be buying and crafting and reconfiguring multiple tier sets, and you know, that's half of the fun for some people. Is you know, micromanaging their stats and their gear and the damage that they do and their performance in different areas of the game. Those that still actually actively play and enjoy the game, that's a big focus, I think, for most. People are also looking to move the legendaries to high stat pieces as well, since domination slots are in your head and your chest and whatever. Not many legendaries go there. Well, yeah, this is it. Especially if the rank 7 ends up being a really juicy item level. A super juicy rank 7, in theory, it could be as high as 290 item level. A 290 piece of gear is going to have so many main stats on. If you can get it on a chest piece or a helm or something like that, then it's going to be worth your while to do that. An extra 20 main stat is worth a lot at endgame. People using Legos in PvP most likely need different secondary stats towards playing PvE. Whilst true, I think most would probably find a compromise somewhere. And most people tend to favour one... most people tend to favour PvP or PvE. They might dabble in both, but they will favour one enough to, you know, they'll make their piece of gear with that content in mind. If it's not 100% optimal for the other, then, you know. But yeah, true. Like, we gotta love us a min-maxer. The more people out there min-maxing this game, the more opportunities there are to sell them stuff. which is what we want. Right, Project Draenor is good. We are still working our way through these listings. This is why posting and managing nearly 1,000 items of inventory is just too much for a single realm. Simply posting them alone is hard enough. Never mind trying to keep them at a competitive position in the queue. Don't tell people that. Let them craft 4 Covenant Legos. Hey, well, hey, if they want to, if they're not keeping their eyes open to what's new and what's upcoming, and they want to craft 4 Covenant Legos, then they can do what they wish. I'm not going to stop them. I mean, if people really want to run Torghast that much, then sure. I guess I'm not going to stop them. I was playing some Hades as well the other day. I've been spending a lot more time playing other games recently. Now, I know we don't do quite so much of that on stream. But I've been playing Hades a little bit more since we first played it, you know, a little over a week ago. Got into what I would consider the third stage, killed the second boss, slowly feeling more powerful and progressing further and further each time, which is good fun. Everybody loves that guy who buys rank 1 through till 4. Yeah, people. The fact that people still do that, it just is so surprising to me. Like, surely. But then again, there's nothing. If you are inclined to buy a rank 1, a rank 2, a rank 3, and a rank 4, then, you know, there's nothing in the game that tells you you shouldn't be doing that. You go to the rune carver, and the only way you'd probably find that out is if you accidentally put in the wrong rank and it upgraded, and you learn through. You probably would only be learning through, you know, an accident. You accidentally put the wrong base item in. Oh, but it upgraded anyway. Ah, maybe I can skip ranks then. It's not super obvious that you can just go straight in at the top level if you want. I mean, I'm not gonna advertise that too heavily, because people already struggle to sell the lower ranks as it is. But you need a few people to make mistakes. This is one thing I said about the legendaries as a system very, very early on, is that it's really, really not well implemented from a user. It's not user friendly at all. It's really not obvious what you're meant to be doing and when you're doing it and what items you need. Sure, you get that quest at the beginning that says to go get. It doesn't even call it a legendary base item, does it? It calls it a vessel or something. Go get yourself a legendary vessel. Because that's I think that's just they called the base items vessels very early in the development stage on the beta, Shadowlands beta. But then I think most people considered them something else. I don't know where base item. I guess it just makes sense for it to be called a base item. I don't know. But it's, yeah, the game's really not good at telling you what you kind of need to be doing. And more importantly, it doesn't stop you from making stupid mistakes, which I think is odd. In Hades, almost killed Hades himself 2 times now. A few more got him and had a little bit of progress. Got to the point to where I can swap things in the bedroom's big mirror. Some nice options there. I don't think I'm that progressed through it. More importantly, I'm pretty. My biggest progressing, my best success in Hades was I got a power up that gave me 2 health every time I attacked something, and so I just stacked attack and attack speed. And basically, like, every time something hit me, 3 seconds later, I'd regenerated the health again. That was super. It felt super duper overpowered, and I've only ever seen that ability once. But you know, life on hit is very good when you hit things very fast. So that's what caused me to have my best attempt. Stacking life on hit, but what I can say is the gun sucks ass. I think I've only used the gun like once, maybe twice. But yeah, I've been having some fun in Hades as well a little bit. Been playing Hades a bit, been playing Factorio a bunch over the weekend. Just keeping WoW ticking over, really. Not sort of, you know, not devoting super duper hours in the day to it. I'm trying to make sure that, you know, I don't burn out of playing WoW before patch 9.2 even lands. This is always the downside for me. I enjoy playing the PTR, and it obviously helps me greatly with what I do content creation wise. But I do like to ensure that there's still some fun to be had from a new zone. Korthia was one of those zones that I was done with, and I made this mistake in 9.1. I was absolutely done with Korthia before it even went live. I'd played it so much on the PTR that I was just done with it. It was like, right, sure, great. To then have to like hardcore grind it on like, what is it, 7 characters or something silly now, was all added to the fact that I never want to go back to Korthia ever again. Soon as we get the opportunity to go somewhere else, I'm gone. Right, we get into the gold. We get into the gold now. 400k. It's probably not much more than that, because I think these items have been expired in my mailbox for quite a while. Because the #1 rule to gold making: if you don't put things on the auction house, they don't sell.
I cannot carry more.
Right, we are nearly there. We are nearly there. Are we done on... This is Project Draenor Realm. I think we're done over here. I think we're done over here. I think we're done over here. If we're done over here, let's take a quick look. Quartzite crystals are still ludicrously expensive. We have... If we check LST, we have... Oh, opportunities afoot. Rank 3 Shadowghast necks have seemingly had their price reset. Some profit is now available in the higher rank stuff. I've managed to sell all of my rank 1 Shadowghast rings, which is nice. These rank 2s are going to stick like glue, though, I worry. I really do worry these are going to stick like glue, and I need to sell at least some of them for something. I almost typed in rank 2 then. Shadowghast. No, ring. Shadowghast ring at rank 2. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, these are going to stick like glue. Market value is only 500 gold on these stupid things. If market value is 500 gold, why are we posting them for 21? Oh no, because that's not right. That's the rank 1 price. Market value of a rank 2 is 3k. So hence we're posting it for 2,100. That's a minimum. Even people are trying to get them. Yeah, okay. Those rank 2s are going to annoyingly stick like glue. Rank 4s are still less than 30k. Damn, only 43,000 gold for a rank 5. That's oh, there's only one of those. I was going to say that's less than cost right there. Which is not surprising, because rank 5s are a meme, but given the opportunity, somebody will buy a rank 5 just because it's cheaper than a rank 6. Alright, alright. We got some expires to come through in a little while on there. Okay. What did we just sell? Brawler's gloves. Brawler's gloves and runic leather pants. interesting things to end up selling. Sure. There you go. Let's get what I think is the last batch of stuff. Okay. Now the cancels. This stupid raw beast hide. Did I ever? I only ever sold 1,300 of it. Sure. At this point, I think I'm just going to put it in a bank tab somewhere and forget about it. We'll wait for the mage tower to come round again. I can't be bothered to be listing this on the auction house every 48 hours. I should listen to my own advice. Mage towery stuff. Put it in a guild bank. Forget about it until like April or something, I think. And then come back to it. Found a strange bug in TSM. Made a restock list. It didn't add 2 tailoring rank 6 Legos. I had none of them and they had almost 100% profit. Felt betrayed. It's usually an inventory issue. You got to be careful when you press the restock button with TSM. Especially if you're if you are using 2 accounts, you absolutely need to check the sync status before you press restock. Mainly because if it's not updating inventory correctly, things like that will happen. Obviously it knows that you don't have any on one account, but if it hasn't shared that information, the inventory for that hasn't been shared with the other account, then on that server everything is on the same account. Then I don't know. Right, we've got everything relisted. Let's see what the damage is for us. It looks like I must have done a restock at some point early on last week, because there's not a lot to restock on there actually, which is nice. What is the... Need a calculator. There's 35 different slots. We stock 5 rank 6s. That's 175. We've got 128 of them, so we need to craft 47 more rank 6s to fully restock. Multiply that by 40 for the number of Corthite crystals, means we need about 2,000 Corthite crystals, 1,880 Corthite crystals to fully restock our rank 6s, which we have. Good. Means we can do it hopefully relatively speedily. The only thing that might slow me down is a restock of these materials, because we apparently don't have a lot of them. So let's get going with that real quick. Let's also see if we can bash out this restock nice and quick. If we can get it done nice and quick, then we can jump onto the WoW economy report for the week and take a little looky. The fact that you said tailoring Legos gives me an indication that you've got a vestige pricing issue. Because I would assume that if you're a smart goblin, you are not making vestiges with tailoring. You're making them with something else, and you're probably gauging your profit based on that something else crafting cost. TSM though, when it does its crafting, if you've got any profit If you require there to be some profit in something before you craft, you often won't. It often won't tell you to craft tailoring legendaries, because it's looking at the price of that item and it's calculating the crafting cost using the tailoring's vestige of origins, of which there's no easy way around that. It's not a bug per se, it's just not coded in a way to facilitate that, unfortunately. Sounds like we're still about half an hour away from the economy report. Going to come back for it. Yeah, I want to try and get a quick restock done. Once I've got a restock done, which hopefully shouldn't take me too long. That's the wrong realm. We will jump onto the economy report. Do you have a video or something on the ideal class profession setup for goal making? I'm sure there are lots of considerations I'm unaware of when it comes to optimizing what to level on which characters. Not in huge detail, but let's see if I can show you. My how to make a gold making factory. There's 2 parts to it at the moment. I know they're a little bit older now, but copy link address, have this one. Take a look at that. Oh, ignore the timestamp on there. Just watch it from the beginning. How to build a goal making machine. There's part 1, there's part 2. That's what I'd recommend. That goes through, part 1 actually goes through the characters that I use and why I use them, so that might answer your question. Yeah, regarding restocking legendaries, if you care about profit in any way, shape or form, I wouldn't recommend using TSM to craft or to restock your legendaries. I don't craft things based on profit. I craft it based purely on the amount of inventory that I have. That means that I can use TSM because it's not making mistakes by checking for profit. It's just crafting them. It's telling me to craft them up until I have a certain number of them. If you care about profit in any way, shape or form when it comes to restocking your legendaries, you probably should be using Legendary Stock Tracker. It's far more geared to calculating things correctly and presenting you know, the most cost-effective craft. TSM very much struggles with legendaries, unfortunately, still. Right, now to emphasize a point just real quick, because I run on multiple accounts. I don't just have 2. I think I've got 5 accounts running at the moment or something silly. But the first thing I always do before I press the restock button on anything is I will go into settings and I will check what the account sync is. Now you can see here, hovering over this, the inventory and gold graph is still updating. So this means that it hasn't registered on this account what has sold on my auction house account. I need to wait until that says up to date before I hit the restock button. Otherwise sometimes it will queue things that it shouldn't do. Sometimes it won't queue things that you think it should do. There's many issues. Running 2 accounts whilst in some regard is a goblin advantage. There's a lot more nuances with how Trade School Master works that you have to navigate when using 2 accounts. Is there some integration to add some items from LST into the TSM crafting queue? No, just use LST. You honestly, if you're using LST, you won't want to use TSM anymore. Like for the purpose of legendaries, yeah. Because there's you just open your crafting profession and you click the craft next, and it just does it. It's far easier. Trade School Master can be customized a lot more, but LST or Legendary Stock Tracker is just far simpler. Far, far simpler. for reference with LST, let's say in LST I see that I've run out of ranks. Just honestly, trust me, close TSM, forget about TSM, and do a restock with Legendary Stock Tracker. You'll thank me for it. Because you quite simply, it knows what you've got and what you haven't got. Well, I mean, it will do as long as you make sure that they're synced. So what you'd want to do is on your bank character, you'd want to open LST. So this is the inventory that I have, because this is the character that I sell things on. So this knows about it first. You go to where is it? Settings, send data to alt. Hit the button. Now on that alt, at least in my chat window, it will tell me that something's happened somewhere. Yeah, received data from Coffee Club. Now if I look at my table, this is the correct inventory. This is the inventory that I have. It's the same on both. What you can then do is through the settings decide a few things, right? How many do you want to restock? Do you only want to restock items that you know how to craft? Do you want to restock domination slots? All of this sort of jazz. Once you've configured it the way that you want it to be, you go to restock and you click update list. And boom, there's a list of all of the legendaries that you need to update, need to craft. The next step is to check your material list. What materials do you have? How many materials do you need? What materials are you missing? Here's your shopping list. Complete the shopping list. Go to your alts, get the materials, go to the auction house, buy the materials, craft the intermediates, do whatever you need to do. And then once you've got the bits and pieces, you go to restock. You open your profession. Doesn't need to be TSM. I actually recommend it to not be TSM. Then you click craft next. Bang, and off it goes. It crafts. It knows whether it needs to use a vestige. It will tell you to craft the vestiges if you need them. You can see here leatherworking. It's telling me to craft 11 vestiges to begin with. Yeah. Honestly, for restocking legendaries, use Legendary Stock Tracker. It's far more foolproof than TSM. Like I said, you can customize Trade Skill Master more so. If you need more options than what LST has, use TSM. Otherwise, I actually suggest you use Legendary Stock Tracker. And thank me yourself, you now have a new short video to publish. Maybe I do, yeah. Maybe I do. Any idea how I can get LST restock list from my auction house character to my crafter? If they're on the same account, when I relog, the restock list in LST is gone. Well, if it's on the same account, it should be synchronized already. It should have, you know, just press restock again. Just open the window and press restock. It will be the same list. Yeah, just click update list and it will still show you. Weird question, but is there any reason why you prefer Horde for goal making, or do you just prefer playing Horde? I actually don't prefer playing Horde. I've been Alliance for life. Only in the last 6 months or so have I had any Horde characters at all. It just happens to be that the biggest realms in the EU are Horde-dominated realms, so I choose to play Horde on them. The Goblin racial, though, is definitely a bonus, considering the fact that I then don't have to worry at all about... getting my vendor materials at the right price. I just log on to my Goblin and craft from there. If I press restock on the crafter, it tells me to craft like I wouldn't have any Legos crafted. You would... Well, hang on. Don't press restock on the character that doesn't do the crafting. Don't press the restock button on your bank character, because your bank character is never going to be crafting anything. I should have clocked that to begin with. You don't want to be. Yeah, don't be getting your restock list from your auction house character. Your auction house character is auctioning. It's posting stuff. It doesn't do any crafting, so don't press the restock on there. Log on to your crafter and then generate your restock list. Yeah, that's big mistake number one. Your restock list on your auction house character doesn't matter because they can't restock. You want to go onto your crafter first. It's a slight. I mean, people are so used to the way of doing things with Trade School Master that it's easy to like. It takes there's a learning curve to get your brain out of TSM mode to use another add-on. But trust me, if you try and forget everything Trade School Master and just look at LST and work out how to do your restock with LST, it's much easier. Much easier. And if you get stuck, either jump in the Discord for LST and ask there, or most of your questions can probably be answered by reading the FAQ. I know it's a wall of text. People don't want to read a wall of text, but the FAQ's there for a reason. I learn everything from here. So, and if there's something on here that I think that should be on here that isn't, it can be suggested and it will probably be added. So. When I check the list myself, what I need and what my auction house character is the only one that gives me the correct list. I don't know what you mean by correct list, but the whole point is it's meant to, track the inventory. To my understanding, like obviously you might need to send the data to an alt. You might need to do this, clear your cache. If you have issues, just clear the cache completely. If I press clear cache here, for example, now, I mean, this is to my eyes at least a correct inventory. 130 rank 4s. Let's just double check. 130 rank 130 106 128. 130 106 128. Yeah, they're synchronized. They're correct. If I, in the settings, click clear cache, can't send because the alt isn't online. Hang on, you're using one account, are you? I'm still so convinced that everybody is using 2 accounts. Either way, if I press clear cache, now I would need to run around. I can either send the information from my bank character and it will get it in correct form. So I can now go settings, send data to alt. If you're all on one account, you don't need to do it. If you hover over the LST, look, it will show you, bags, bank, auction house, mail, and it will show you all of them that you have. See, now it's synchronized the data from my bank character again. But yeah, honestly, if you have, just jump in the Discord for LST if you have like specific questions. Stro will more than happily help you out. All of the green current ores are going for 10 gold in 10k stacks. Is that a good buy price? I can't tell you if it's a good buy price. I honestly can't tell you because I have no idea what your auction house, what your realm is like. I honestly can't tell you, unfortunately. You can compare 10 golds to what Trade School Master says is the market price. You can jump on websites like the Undermine Journal and put in the item and it will show you historical prices for that item, and you have to make a decision whether it's a good price or not. I mean, it sounds relatively cheap, but I've got no way to say any more than that, unfortunately. What I need to do now, maybe for for simplicity, maybe I'm just thinking about, I'll tell you what, the easiest way for me to show you how easy LST is to do a restock with them is to just use LST to do a restock. So let's go, let me check that my numbers are right. /LST set restock 000535 /LST print, oh no, all one word. I usually don't use LST to restock my legendaries, but there's one very, very good reason to why I don't. The reason I don't is because I don't craft things based on profit. I just craft up to an inventory number, which still means that Trade Skill Master kind of works quite well for me. And I'm a creature of habit, meaning that it's 3 rank 5s. Yes, you heard it right. I'm a crazy person, I know. It doesn't matter though, because they only get listed at a profitable point. So feels like making an auction house account would be a simple way to fix everything. Well, like I said earlier, it's 50-50 with auction house accounts. They have they have pros, but they definitely have cons. You know, you shouldn't make an auction house account just to fix one problem, because you'll cause 3 more. Trade Skill Master becomes an absolute nightmare to use when you start using more than one account. Yeah, it can do it. Yeah, it can synchronize behind the scenes, but it's not reliable. If I could get away with it, I wouldn't use more than one account. But I craft and sell enough stuff that I kind of have to. My LST also looks funny because, like I said, I don't care about profit. I would actually rather go as far as to say, right, turn off profits. So it just gives me an inventory list, because this is what I actually care about. Hello, wife. Hello, dogs. What up? I'm gonna go chill in your bed, dog. I don't think Nipsey wants to go in there. So now anything that's not a rank 4 that is not quantity of 5, it will queue. Any rank 6 that's not quantity of 5, it will queue. And this one stray Bone Shatter Helm at rank 5, sorry, it will also queue this one. So if I go restock, update list, you can now see exactly what it's showing me. We can look at this list and see if it looks sensible. Is there anything that it's crafting 5 of? It's going to craft 5 Umberhide Pauldrons at rank 6. We can check back with the table. Umbrahide pauldrons. Yes, we don't have any of them. We want to craft all 5 of them. Just if you really want to, you know, be cautious, you can double check that against what your bank character says. Umbrahide pauldrons, it's also saying that we don't have any. We need to craft some more. All good. So, once you've got your restock list, you'll see on this you have vestige numbers. It knows how many vestiges you're going to need to craft all of the things. The V is to say whether it's crafting something with a vestige. Interestingly, it's... Why is it suggesting I make rank 4s with vestiges? That can't be right. That cannot be right. My vestige price is not cheap enough to facilitate that. That concerns me. It should not be craft. Ooh, is there some... Oh, I think there's some weirdness with how... There's no way it should be crafting them all with vestiges. See, this is why for my case, this is okay. For my specific case scenario of not caring about profit, this is why LST doesn't actually always work out great for me, because my usage is different to normal. Yeah, see, there we go. There we go. If you try and craft everything regardless of profit, it will automatically default, I think, for some reason, to telling you to craft it with a vestige. Because I think what it's actually doing is it's calculating profit margins between 2 different items and picking whichever one is the greater. But when your profit margin is set to 0, the difference between a 0 and a 0 is still 0. I need to talk to Stro about that. Is he here? Is he lurking? He's not lurking. I'll chat to him on Discord later then. Okay, sure, that's fine. Right, now we should have a material list, which is equally broken. What's this item? Okay, we have some teething issues. I still use a 5-month-old LST. Hey, if it works, it works. Let me do a reload real quick. See, I would love to showcase just how powerful LST is and how simplistic it is, but my use case is very different to others. Most people most people are still leveling their legendaries, and more importantly, most people are looking to only craft things that are profitable. Very, very few people, I think, are in my position where you can just craft everything and you don't care about the profit at all. Which is why I still use TSM. Because it's easier for me to do that with. Because although TSM doesn't calculate profit margins correctly, it will still tell you to craft things correctly. Where's LST gone? Right, so now... Why have I still got gaping holes in my material list? What are these items? Oh, I think I know what these are. I think these are the other enchanted materials. Because it's only showing me the materials that are relevant to this character. Now I still need other materials, but they're going to be for other characters. It should so it's not telling me to, even though it's doing the calc, it should hide this as well if that's the case. Vestiges are crazy. What is LST doing with them? LST calculates the price of a rank 5 and a rank 6 as if it is made with a vestige of the same profession. If your crafter can make a cheaper vestige with another profession, LST will make you craft the cheaper vestige in order to craft your profit even more. However, LST will not make an item that is profitable with a cheaper vestige. If it is not profitable with the regular vestige, this is done on purpose because most people's TSM isn't set up to handle this, meaning LST would craft items which your TSM will never post. Oh, I disagree with that. Because that's where you're. Oh, I guess. Yeah, oh god, it's logical. It's logical. This is why I really wish that there was an alternative to TSM. Because even LST is kind of in the in the shadow of TSM. Because LST even knows that when it comes to selling these legendaries that you're crafting, you're going to be listing and selling them with Trade School Master. And most people don't set up Trade School Master in a correct way. If vestiges are cheap enough that it's worth making rank 3s or 4s with vestiges as well, LST will do so. Even if you have not unlocked the regular recipe to make the rank 3 or 4 regularly. See? Smartness. This is something that Trade School Master just cannot do. If you do not know how to craft a rank 3 or rank 4 naturally, Trade School Master doesn't know what the hell it is and deliberately ignores it, which is baffling. Freddie, good morning to you. Welcome in. Yeah, it's probably aimed for tailor. This section is probably aimed for tailoring. Okay, I need 400 Corthite crystals. How many of these items? Now you see the downside for me as well with LST is that it's harder. Oh, I suppose maybe I can do this. It's harder to keep everything on screen in nice, neat order. What do I need? I need arboreal shards times lots. Heavy desolate leather, 1,000. Maybe I should take from the bottom. Callous hide, do we need any callous hide? No. Desolate leather, we're going to need lots of desolate leather. Oh, one of these must be desolate leather. But I can't see it, so I don't know. Why would you want TSM to craft something you don't know how to craft? No, the problem is you do know how to craft it. It's just Trade School Master doesn't believe you know how to craft it. In terms of you could, in theory... you can make rank 3s straight away, technically, as long as you have access to the Vestige of Origins. But Trade School Master will never, ever, ever tell you to make a rank 3 by crafting a rank 1 with a Vestige. Even though it's something that you can craft. You can craft a rank 3 by making a rank 1 with a Vestige. But until you unlock rank 3 normally, TSM doesn't know it exists. At the beginning of the expansion, I would often buy ranks above what I could craft in order to resell them higher. TSM spazzed out, and I had to list it manually. Yeah, yeah. I've quizzed TSM about, you know, what's the reason why we have to. Why do we have to learn how to craft something before we get a crafting price for it? And it's to do with the API for Blizzard that professions can't, TSM can't pull the data for an item before you've learnt it. That was a feature that you used to be able to do, but you can't anymore. So the only way around that, in theory, would be for Trade School Master to hard code in all of the crafting prices for every item instead of relying on the API to return what the crafting cost is. So it's, you know, it's not really something that's ever going to happen. But yeah, TSM is by no means perfect. It's very, very good at a lot of things. The problem is there's equally a lot of things it's not very good at. Enchanted heavy callous hide. Have we got any enchanted heavy callous hide here? We do. Yoink. We need arboreal shards. We need something that I don't know what it is. I need something else that I don't know what it is. I need heavy callous hide. Have we got any? I don't think we've got any heavy callous hide in this bag, have we? Do we not have any heavy callous hide at all anywhere? Spot the heavy callous hide. There we go. On my server, it doesn't seem to be profitable to make rank 4s by taking a rank 2 plus a vestige. Should I just craft the Legos with no
sweet
vestiges until I max out the skill? Or should I just... Hang on. Should I just craft Legos with no vestige until I max out the skill? Also, would maxing out the helm, chest, legs first be safer at this point, or just max everything? Firstly, if it's not... I mean, that's the choice you have to make. This is why leveling up legendaries is not totally a mathematical question. You can't always get an answer based on, you know, numbers alone. A rank 4 made by a rank 2 plus a vestige might cost you more. But the one thing that you can't attach numbers to is that, well, you might have a much easier time selling that rank 4. So in turn, it might cost you a little bit more, but you might recuperate your gold back faster. That's a decision that you just have to make. Secondly, regarding crafting, you want to have as many of everything unlocked as fast as you possibly can. Sure, there are some... at this point, I almost give up with trying to suggest which ones for people to craft first, because it doesn't really matter. My sales data seems to indicate that if you craft it and you list it on the auction house, people are out there buying them. So just rank up everything you can as fast as you can, and you can't. Sooner you can get to the high tier stuff, the better. Yeah. Neck, thank you very much for the tier 1. I did hear my alert go off. Thank you very much. I was busy answering a legendary question, but thank you. Welcome in. Tier 1, 2 months. Thank you.
Let's make sweet profit together.
Oh, Dad, Freddy with the Prime Gaming. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. By the way, you can use TSM /TSM get Desolate Leather to get all from Bank and Guild Bank. Yes. Sometimes I do use that if I'm transferring materials in mass. Set up a new TSM profile and couldn't work out why my cloth Legos wouldn't post. Just realised I had fixed prices in my old profile to counter the vestige problem. Luckily, you had this conversation sorted me out perfectly. Yeah, it's another example of one of those weird and wonderful things you have to do just to get it to work in the way that you want it to work. It's a bit frustrating sometimes, but we can only work with the tools that we have. And let's be honest, as much as I do complain about Trade School Master a lot, it is the best tool that we have. You know, it's sometimes you can complain if you're trying to chop down a tree and your axe is blunt. You can complain about having a blunt axe, but trust me, if you didn't have an axe at all, it'd be a lot harder to chop down that tree. So it's there's an element of perspective for sure. Yeah.
Hello there.
Eliath, hello there, welcome in. Does the new +3 vestige not require Corthite crystals? Correct. No Corthite crystals in the new vestige. Or at least not currently. Although I don't believe that the materials are fully balanced yet. So expect changes on that even still. Oh, I know why. I was wondering why my LST and TSM were giving me different restock quantities. And I've just worked it out. I've worked it out. You can see here that LST is suggesting for me to craft one of lots of things. The reason that my TSM looks different is because my crafting operations on TSM are set to restock up to 5, but with a minimum of 3. So that I don't craft just one of things all the time. That's why the list is different. Now it makes more sense. I craft 5 rank 6s, but I don't restock them until I've only got 2 left. That's why the list is different. If I was to, for example, if I was to go... I thought LST had its own restock levels, or was that changed? I don't think there's minimum and maximums. I think it's just restocks up to... oh no, you can. Restock... there's a minimum restock amount. Now I don't know how this interacts. I could set it to 3 there. Is that going to override this thing? This LST set restock. And there it does. Yeah, the LST print restock just shows you what you are stocking up to. I'm more interested at this moment in time. I restock. It'll restock until you run out of mats. Well, that's also another option. There are still some discrepancies here. Or maybe I've got TSM set up in a slightly different way for these. That Bone Shatter Helm, that's a rank 5. Yeah. Like I said, TSM, you can get more granular with it. 3 rank 4s, 3 rank 4s, but it's also crafting some rank 6s here as well, which it doesn't seem to have accounted for here. Mittens and Spolders. Now yeah, okay, so LST is not restocking them because they're not profitable. Yeah. For when you're leveling up your legendaries, LST is a godsend. I'm just too much a creature of habit though. I've got my I've got TSM set up exactly how I want it to work, and it works that way. Yeah, it goes back to the same theory. There's literally no one perfect solution out there. That's about leveling the helm, chest, legs first, because there's yeah, I know exactly why people are looking to work out which one is a meta slot per se. But like I said, the be all and end all is that if you craft it and list it, there's a good chance it will sell. Meaning that craft at least one of everything, have at least one of everything listed, and then recraft what sells. And from that point on, if you've got more gold that you want to spend, then you can maybe try and, you know, zerg a certain slot or two. But until you have one of everything that you can crafted and listed, that should be your bare minimum. That should, and the market will tell you what it wants, because it will sell and you will then have to recraft it again. I wouldn't super laser focus any given slot until you at least have one of everything crafted and listed. That alone, one of everything alone, is a lot of gold to get going with. Legendaries is expensive, but it's also a mass market. There are 35 different slots, and then there is 6 different ranks. So there's a hell of a lot just to have one of everything. And at this point in time, trying to focus on what the meta is or what the meta might be is just not really worth it, in my opinion. Now, I know crafting one of everything is expensive and people don't have lots of gold, but that is the nature of the legendary market. It is not a friendly market to those that don't have a lot of gold. It's the barrier to entry is literally how much gold you are willing to throw at it. The only way to overcome that is to throw more gold at it. Hope 9.2 comes in late March so I can get all the Legos before that. My guesstimate is the 22nd of February. That's my guess for when it's going to come out. Yeah, I don't think we'll see a March release. In fact, I don't think we can see a March release because, yeah. How we doing, Woo? Welcome in. Been a while. Good to see you. Hope you're well. We're still doing the exact same thing we always do, which is craft and sell legendaries. If the MMO leaks are to be believed, well, see there we go. That's where you're. That's the problem, right? The new arena champ is in early to mid March, so it has to come before that. That's also true. That's also true. Bit of work, bit of COVID, bit of RimWorld, checking things out. Glad to see you're still on it. I am indeed. I am indeed. Something happened a while back that I thought would interest you, and I can't remember what it was. I was going to DM you about it. I can't remember what. Oh, it what? Oh. There's a screenshot that I would like to show you that would interest you. Now I remember what it was. Please hold. Let me see if I can find the image. Not totally sure I should share this, but we'll see. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where is it gone? Hang on. I'm building on something. Here we go. What would you say is different in this screenshot? Can I open original? What would you say is interesting about this image? Something that is yeah, there's something interesting about this image. I'm wondering if anybody can spot it. Da-da-da! This is a sneak peek of something that's being looked at internally at TSM. Which I instantly thought about Wu and his pet selling and his liking of market trends. Now this is not confirmed to be a new price source, but it's something that they're testing. Right, let's this was meant to be a very quick restock before we get onto the WoW economy report, and so far I have done absolutely no crafting of anything, so let's fix that real quick. 47% trend looks like my formula basically. I think it's almost exactly your formula, if not exactly your formula. Desolate leather, we need a bunch of desolate leather. We should have desolate leather down here. Take all of it, yoink. I've only been posting to stop expires recently, once every 2 weeks, so pretty slow. Yeah. I'd considered making a play in the pet market. Ooh, voice crack. That was horrible. Oh dear. Yeah, I'd been considering to do something about pets. I know I keep teasing that we're going to do something about pets at some point, but I haven't quite worked out how I want to do it yet. Ah, 440 Corthite crystals. Right. If I'm going to get this restock done, I need to quite quickly just focus on it and get it done. So let me quickly smash this out. If we can get this restock done real quick, then we can look at the WoW economy report. Buy. Now this number's going to go crazy when I press this button, but sure. It's useful info and easy for them to incorporate. I consolidated down to only 14 realms, so I have loads on the servers I'm pursuing, so always get some sales. But this is also the thing that Pets is one of those things where I'm quite sure you just have to... It's a spaghetti at the wall situation again, right? You want to probably start off by selling as many different pets on as many different realms as you possibly can. And only once you are well established in the market and are getting those consistent sales can you start trimming the fat. Trimming it down to just... In some scenarios, I imagine, if you're lucky enough, trimming it down to only the more and more valuable a pet, so that you have a shorter amount of listings on each realm and less pets that you're trying to buy and sell, but you're focusing on the more valuable, or should I say the more faster turnover possibly, or the more profitable ones. There's a few different options. Pets are hard because the good ones usually have a chance to drop. That's also probably a concern. I'm still on 10. They're still quite inconsistent. Sometimes high pop sells many on one day, then nothing for the rest of the week. This is also one of the reasons I want to get into pets more so than anything else, is because of the fact it's an evergreen market, right? A lot of things are super dependent on what's happening in game. Like alchemy, for example, is super profitable for about 4 to 6 weeks when a new raid comes out, and then it's a nightmare to make gold with. It's super inconsistent like that. Pets, I think there's always that level of, there's always somebody out there that is going to probably look to buy a pet at some point. If they want, if they're completing their collection, they're leveling them, they're whatever the case may be, it seems to be a lot more of an evergreen market. And if you can get an evergreen market to function profitably at scale, then you are absolutely balling from there on, is my opinion anyway. And I'm sure the big pet sellers out there would probably agree, because it's the reason they do it. More often than not, it's just 1 or 2 sellers picking up a few for their collection. That's probably it. Somebody's probably going to the auction house and they're just, they're seeing which ones are listed that they don't have to complete a collection. Incredibly low effort though, just a bit time consuming. Low effort is the way forward. Missing 167 pets, but hard to find them for sale under regional sale average. I mean, if you're that close to like completing your collection, surely it doesn't matter if you pay a little bit over the odds. It depends how desperate you are to complete the collection, I suppose. If you need pets, whisper me. Woo's got a bit of a black market on the go for pets, apparently. It's more annoying to get some initial gold for investing on the new realms. Just skipping the quest to Dalaran gives you 30 plus gold, which is enough to get you started for your first pet sales. Yeah, I was looking at different ways to aggressively expand onto different servers. And one thing that was suggested to me was to craft like 50 of the crafted pets with enchanting and engineering, because those pets are probably, if you post them at 50% crafting cost on another realm, they're probably going to get bought out by somebody, just purely to relist very quickly, I would guess. Now, obviously, the logic is that, well, yeah, sure, you can probably, anything that you sell it, if you give something away, people are going to take it. But that's what I would think would be an effective way, because of course you craft them all on one realm, and you just keep loading them into your journal and then making new characters, caging one, and then selling it on the new realm. I imagine that's quite an effective way to get, a couple of hundred, couple of thousand gold on a new realm quite quickly. Ooh, LST's died. Why has LST died? Don't know. Buy a TCG or another 100k plus pet for a reasonable price when you have the gold and just sell it off for a slight discount. It can take 48 hours or so to get the sale. Well, yeah, that's another option, yeah. This Alethioum, I think I'm actually going to prospect it on my mage for some tailoring essences. Tested the pet market a bit. I bought 500 pets on my main realm, then expanded to 5. After the first week, I'd sold 250k worth of pets. And with my operations, it's about 50% profit. I make posting items for 48 hours, and it takes me 20 minutes to post everything. Yeah, that's the thing. You kind of, you know, once you've got it set up, it's like most things. It's just like setting up a... what I commonly refer to as a gold making factory on a new realm. Once you've done the legwork of leveling the character, getting the professions, getting the rep they need to unlock the patterns that you need, it's quite literally 20 minutes. Log on, recraft what's sold, list it, and then move on. And in theory, you can rinse and repeat that as many times as you are willing to do. It's still kind of time capped though. And this is what worries me about expanding aggressively to like 20, 40 different realms. Is that even at 5 minutes each a day, or 5 minutes each every 2 days, it really does start to add up. Right, let's get this Alethioum ore and get this prospected. Let's get the shrouded cloth that we need. We need some Corthite crystals. We need a stack of Corthite crystals. We'll send 2 just because we're generous. We need 400 odd arboreal shards. 3 stacks of arboreal shards it is. So I'm really trying to just smash through this now, just so it's, I want to move on and I want to take a little look at the Wowhead economy report, but I'm being slowed down because I keep chatting. my gold making optimization is failing me because I'm trying to be a good streamer. Damn me for trying to be a good streamer. I say good. Acceptable. Bare minimum effort streamer. Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's why whenever I have a day off, I watch the stream. Thanks. Appreciate it. Something keeps causing LST to die on me. If Stro was here, I'd show him that, but he's not here. Maybe next time. What are we crafting then? Tailoring. Haha! Speak of the devil. Welcome in. Talk about timing. Yeah, I don't know why LST keeps crashing. Error reports. I'm going to paste bin them and send them to you. Something's going funky donkey. I tuned in and an error popping up. I was trying to do the big sell on LST earlier for restocking legendaries, but I had a few issues, but you weren't here, so... so I'm back to my old faithful method. Kept getting items in my material list that didn't have a name, So I don't know what I'm collecting. What have I done wrong? It's probably too late now because I've almost restocked everything, but... Restart the stream, start step 0 again. Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in again? Yeah. Please turn off. Press the restart button. Step 1, create a character. No. That's way too advanced. Step 1, create battle.net account. Let's get it right. Oh damn, we can get some flux, it's fine. Oh god damn, please let... Where are all my shadow gas ingots? Okay, I'm worried now. I've seen that happen with missing material names as well. I don't quite get how it happens though, because it creates a list of all the materials it's scanned. Oh, just okay. Close it and open it again. Is that the solution? Alright, well, next time I will screenshot and I will send it your way if I get anything funky. I need to reload. This account's also going crazy. Oh my days, we've been live 2 hours already. I was meant to do the Wowhead economy report like an hour ago. Oops. Starting a new job February the 7th, so RIP asking for a week off to sell some Legos. Yeah, that's going to be a bit painful. I can imagine that conversation with your brand new boss. Yeah, thanks for giving me this job, but World of Warcraft patch 9.2 is coming out soon. Can I have a week off, please? Yeah, good luck with that one. Let me know how that goes. Stack of Corthite crystals. Go. Stack of Corthite crystals. Lacestrite ore, of all things. Send a couple of stacks of that then. Shadow gas ingots. We've got loads of shadow gas ingots. Do we need even more shadow gas ingots? Ah, that's what I thought. Flux, enchanted elementium bars. Oh no, I knew I should have been crafting something while I was waiting. Go. No, don't craft one, you donkey. Craft all of them. Right, let's go get some flux. Bye. Yoink. Now, recrafting these is going to throw a spanner in the works. It'll throw up more materials we need, no doubt. Rewatch the stream to see what's been happening. But of course you use LST when I've got my Monday meeting. Sorry. I usually restock Legos on a Sunday. But I spent all day playing Factorio yesterday. So I didn't get my restock done, so I'm doing it today. I was going to play Factorio on stream today, but I had a slight biter-related issue that I couldn't get under control. So I thought streaming it at the same time would be a tragic idea. I'll go back and play it again in a bit. Oh, hang on. I can craft these on this character as well. Oh, not in any given quantity, apparently. There we go. Right. These are crafting. How many did we need? 160 odd. That shouldn't take too long. Tell you what, while they're crafting, I'll go grab myself a drink, and then we can get going with the Wowhead economy report for the week as well. Occupy yourselves for 2 minutes, boys and girls. I'm going to go grab a drink. I'm going to throw up some ads for a couple of minutes, so hopefully pre-rolls don't get in the way for any new people checking in. Yeah, back in 2. Alrighty. Have we got them all? Boom, there we go. Enchanted Elementium bars. Sorry, Enchanted Elythium bars. Wrong expansion. Elementium bars? Jesus. Have you heard of the Industries of Titan game? I've heard of. I've not seen much about it though. Although it does intrigue me. There's a content creator by the name of Nilaus. Who is quite well known for playing Satisfactory, Factorio, those sorts of building factory-esque games. I think he did a video on the Industries of Titan game at some point. Quite an inspiration of mine, that guy, by the way. In case you guys have seen him or know of him. He streams here on Twitch as well. He's got an incredible work ethic. Borderline machine. Right, let's... yeah, I'm almost tempted. I'm very tempted to start working on a See, this is what I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether I want to just start on a new YouTube channel. Not that I'm bored or done with World of Warcraft in any way, shape or form, but the World of Warcraft YouTube channel and presence that I have on the internet is quite established now, I believe. I'm going to go as far as to say it's relatively established. And I don't want to dilute the channel too much by doing, you know, much different. Like, sure, you get variety gamers out there, but I'm not going to be a PewDiePie, let's be honest. It would make more sense, I think, in my mind, if I wanted to start playing games like Satisfactory and Factorio and games of that sort of factory building genre. Even things like Planet Coaster, you know, all of those sort of like builder games I've always really enjoyed. One of the very first games that I ever played was well, not very first, but one of the really old school games. Theme Park was one of my favorite games ever. And then in my youth it was Roller Coaster Tycoon. I loved those games. Like, I put thousands of hours into those sorts of games. All that, you know, the Theme Hospital, going back a long time. Games of that, you know, that sort of genre, I've always really enjoyed. Now, of course, World of Warcraft will probably always be and has always been my bread and butter. I mean, I've played this game literally forever. I've almost never not had a subscription running for this game. Tycoon games were my thing when I was a kid as well, probably why I like making gold in WoW. Yeah, the Tycoon-y games have always been fun. Transport Tycoon, many hours, and I'd never played Transport Tycoon. Roller Coaster Tycoon, I played like to death. Yeah. City Skylines, yes, that's another one I've put some serious time into. I had to stop playing City Skylines at one point. This was on my old computer. Because I nearly cooked the CPU. my city had got so ridiculous. My CPU was constantly running at 100% with insufficient cooling. And I had to stop playing the game before I cooked my entire PC. City Skylines got lucky with how the latest SimCity turned out. I don't think they got lucky. I think it's they made a good game and EA just fucked SimCity right in the butthole. They destroyed that platform. Cities and Bloons TD6, two of the best Steam games for me. Oh god, I play Bloons as well. See, this is what we need to do. We need to take a chill from. There's so many good games out there. So many good games. Transport Tycoon is probably the second most time sinker for me. Sometimes I feel ashamed to admit I play Transport Tycoon to IRL people. I've never played. Do I dare? Do I dare? Language, young man. Sorry. Sorry, Dad. But this is why I wanted Friday to be just, you know, another game day. Where we just pick something and we play something different on a Friday. A, to bring a little bit of exposure to these other games to other people that may not have played them. But B, just to you know, break down the... To not overdo World of Warcraft, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at here. Play a sim game and make gold in it instead. Can you do that? I used to love Age of Empires. Yes, Age of Empires was another one. There's a new Age of Empires out soon, or is it out? I don't know. I'm quite sure there's a new one on the horizon. See, if there was more than 24 hours in a day, I would play so many of these games. There's so many good games out there. Oh, it came out a few months ago. Totally missed the fact that they released it as well. I saw it come out. Like, there was like alpha footage and they paid a bunch of streamers to play it a while ago. To, you know, give it some exposure. But then when they did that, the game wasn't actually out. And so I was like, oh. So you've created hype about a game that's not out yet. Great. Well done. And they obviously then didn't do the same again when it got launched. Or maybe they did. Maybe I just missed it. But it's got some great reviews, but it... Huh. Oh, they did a remastered version, but I thought they were making an actual new one. Oh, I don't know. I don't keep my eyes open enough. It is the new one, but the graphics are just not up to date. Oh, I see. Ah, well, that might be something to look into at some point as well, then. Oh, so many games I want to play. Right, that's everything restocked and relisted, I believe. Yes, look at all the fire. No, not a single blue number in sight. That's what we want. Ignore. I don't care about the. Not a single blue number. Minimum of 3 of everything 4 and above. Beautiful. That's where we need to sit at. 21 million gold in pre-crafted legendaries. Here's to hope that it's not a bubble that bursts. Hey, right. I have a feeling that Age of Empires 2 will stay as the top dog of the Age of Empires series forever. Oh yeah, probably, because it's got that nostalgia about it for sure. I'm going to be honest though, I can't really differentiate between the first 3 in my mind all that much. It's just, you know, one big cluster of nostalgia about Age of Empires. I couldn't tell you the difference between them. It's been 20 odd years since I even looked at one of them. Right though, let's jump onto the Wowhead economy report. I think it's that time. I think it is time for. Hang on. That's really old. No. Yep. No. Yep. What's going on? Data mined, encrypted mount, pet items, possible 10.0 expansion deluxe edition rewards. Alright, we'll look at that in a minute. Did you ever play Age of Mythology? I didn't, know. But that's equally another one that sounds like I probably should. Right then, let's turn the tunes off for this so we can focus. And I guess we want to turn you off as well. Ah, silence. Right, okay. Wowhead weekly economy wrap up. Is it Wowhead economy weekly wrap up? Yes, number 210. 210. Big numbers now. Big numbers now. Let me throw a link up in chat for you guys that are watching live. Let's throw that up there for you guys. We are on to episode or edition 210 of this. First thing we do, as we do every time, is throw a bit of a shout out to Samadan. Thank you for taking the time and effort to put this report. It goes up on a Sunday evening for us EU boys and girls. Regarding what time it goes live on the NA, I couldn't tell you. Probably 8 hours after. But yes, thank you to Samadan for putting this together. He's actually, sometimes he streams this, sometimes he puts a video up on his YouTube channel regarding this. I like to go through it on a Monday just for those that may not have had chance to go through it over the weekend. And more importantly, it's kind of quite nice to just keep track of what's going on on a weekly basis. Keep up to speed with things. So what's our table of contents for today then? Some 9.2 legendary updates, a beginner's guide to goal making, the discussion of transmog selling, is it worth it? This is going to be a fruitful one. There was the best sellers of 2021 and then some further reading for those that want to dive a little deeper. So let's start with the big one. The big one that's going to attract a lot of people. 9.2 legendary updates. As of last week on the PTR, we've got the first sight of Unity. Unity is the belt, or not necessarily strictly the belt, but the legendary power that we're going to be getting in patch 9.2 that's going to allow your Covenant legendary effect to change with you as you also change Covenant. So since they pulled the ripcord and allowed us to freely transfer between Covenants, we also now are going to see a new legendary memory and a new legendary belt with the name Unity. Now, every class and spec has a slightly different version of this. You can buy one, as you can see in the image here, a heroic item level version of it, item level 265. Once you hit Revered with the Enlightened, the new faction over in Zereth Mortis, you can just buy this legendary. No crafting needed, no base items needed. You just buy the legendary. There is some pros and cons to this. Pros being, obviously, hey, a small rep grind and you get yourself a free legendary. The big con, though, I would imagine that it's going to be capped on its item level and capped on its usefulness for those that are really pushing best in slot. We don't know at this moment in time what the item level of a rank 7 legendary is going to be, but I would imagine it's going to be considerably higher than item level 265. 262 is already what the item level is for a rank 6. So this is like literally 3 item levels more than a rank 6. So sure, for the alts, for the more casual player out there, just buying the legendary that they need from the reputation vendor is probably not the worst idea. But at the same time, I would imagine there's a lot of people that will probably look at this and go, nah, I'll use the memory of Unity to craft it at a higher item level and craft it on a piece of gear that's more appropriate to how I want to play the game. But of course, this is PTR season. Everything is kind of up in the air a little bit. So what do we know about this? Let's just clarify some of the things then. The belt gives the legendary class power for your current Covenant, and it will change with you as you change Covenant as well. It can be equipped on any other legendary you can just about see it in the background here. You need the memory of Unity. You buy this, you take it to the rune carver. You can then recraft the Unity on another piece of gear. As it stands on the PTR, you can craft it on any slot you like. If you take a look at your legendary powers, you'll see you often have a choice of 2, maybe 3 different items that legendary power can go on. The Unity can be crafted onto any slot that you want. Any legendary bearing slot, so not trinkets. Not weapons. You know, where a legendary can normally go. We've discussed its item level 265, which intrigues me. I still wonder if there's going to be a way to naturally upgrade this. But the fact it's specifically got this heroic tag leads me to believe that the Cord of Unity or the Unity that you buy off the vendor may just be a fixed, solid, here's an item, take it or leave it. I believe if it stays at 265, many people will probably choose to leave it, which, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more. You're going to require Revered with the Enlightened to purchase it, the new faction in Zereth Mortis. 2,500 Cosmic Flux. This is the reason why I think there's many people out there that might not bother with this. There are a lot of people, or who, if you are of a progression mindset, if you like to keep up with the new content, if you're pushing Mythic Plus keys, if you're going for high rating in PvP, if you're trying to defeat those raid bosses on as high a difficulty as possible, I have a strong suspicion that people might ignore this because of the high Cosmic Flux cost to buy it. 2,500 Cosmic Flux, I suspect, is going to be quite a lot. I imagine that if you are playing Zereth Mortis and you're playing 9.2, in the time it takes you to get to Revered, you'll probably have the ability to have 2,500 Cosmic Flux. But Cosmic Flux is a new currency that's used for lots of things in patch 9.2. And 2,500 of it, if Soul Ash or Soul Dust is anything to go by, is a sizable enough quantity that you might not want to spend 2,500 on it on a legendary that you're very quickly going to replace or update. That 2,500 Cosmic Flux may be better suited in other areas of the game, which I think is a decision that some people will start to try and make once we know a little bit more about how much of this Cosmic Flux we can get our hands on. At the moment, it's not implemented on the PTR. We don't really know just how much of it is freely available. I mean, who knows? You might get 2,500 just by completing a world quest. We don't know. Unlikely, but we don't know. My guess is that this Cosmic Flux, though, will be the bottleneck currency for most progression-based players. You'll be capped on your Cosmic Flux in some way, shape or form, and to spend such a large quantity of it on an item that's not on your BIS list may not be an optimal use for your Cosmic Flux to many players. Well, time will tell though. We'll see. We've also discussed that yes, you can buy the memory for only 500 Cosmic Flux and then to craft it in another slot. If Cosmic Flux does become the bottleneck, people will do this anyway. Because if you can save 2,000 Cosmic Flux and put that 2,000 Cosmic Flux to better use somewhere else, Cosmic Flux, for reference, is going to be the currency we're going to need to upgrade and to create tier set pieces. There's a new system in 9.2 that will allow you to take a regular piece of gear and upgrade it to a tier set piece. And we already know that the tier set pieces are probably going to take preferential... they're going to be people's best in slot. They're going to... Getting your 4-piece set bonus is going to be of the highest priority for most people, because it's likely to give you the biggest power gain once you get that 4-piece set bonus. If you need your Cosmic Flux to achieve that 4-piece set bonus, you are unlikely to want to spend your Flux on the Unity. Spend 500 Flux getting the memory, save yourself 2,000 Flux, and then spend some gold crafting that Unity wherever it suits you best, I think is probably going to be the route that many players will go. Yeah. I think I've said the same thing about 4 times now, but my point still stands. That I'm skeptical just how many people are actually going to choose to pick this up. I'll be happy to be wrong, but we'll have to see. Samadan goes as far as to say it's not exactly a free legendary as many had hoped for. It might be cheap depending on how challenging it is to collect the Cosmic Flux, a currency that has not yet been added to the PTR as far as I can tell. Even if Cosmic Flux is easy to collect, I suspect all but the most competitive players will just stick with the belt and not bother crafting it into a rank 7. Quick analysis, so probably overlooked something, but of course it's PTR season and subject to change. Edit, I should have noted that you'll also be able to upgrade legendaries with Cosmic Flux, which will probably decrease demand for base items. Well, you'll still need the rank 7 base item. So Cosmic Flux is just, we've had Soul Ash, we've had Soul Dust. We've had Soul Cinders. Cosmic Flux is just patch 9.2's, magic currency. But this time, with it being used for more than just legendaries, is going to mean that people are going to have to make decisions with how they spend it. The Cosmic Flux, a new currency for upgrading your rune carving legendaries, buying items off the Enlightened Brokers, and the Creation Catalyst feature. This is the creation catalyst feature that allows you to use your Cosmic Flux to craft tier set pieces, which I think is going to be super beneficial. I put most of this information together in a little video earlier on in the week, so if you haven't already seen it, make sure you check that one out. The Legendary Belt, we went over everything that we know at first glances and some of my thoughts in a slightly more constructed fashion. Lazy Goalmaker's also chipped in on this one. He's taken a little bit of a look at just the opportunity from a raiding perspective. Just the fact that, you know, taking the memory and crafting it in a slot that's more suitable for you is probably going to be the suggested method, especially if you can get it at higher item level by doing it. And as you can see, head, neck, shoulders, chest, waist, legs, feet, wrists, hands, fingers, and back are all slots that you can craft this new unity on. Could be quite cool to see how it plays out from a goblin perspective. Anything that gives people choice is good as far as a goblin is concerned, because it means some people will do this, some people will do that. Meaning that you can craft and sell more than just a single thing. It's only when there's, you know, only one viable option for something, everybody tries to craft that one thing, everybody tries to sell that one thing, and it becomes a lot more difficult to make gold from it. At least this way, if some people get the Legendary Belt, they're probably going to use their Flux to upgrade their current Legendary, a win for goblins. If they choose to not buy the belt and choose to craft it using the memory, they're then going to buy 2 base items to upgrade, so double win for goblins. TLDR to this is that legendaries are going to pop off in a ridiculous way, I think, in patch 9.2. So get prepared. Both seems very positive that legendary market will be invigorated with plenty of open slots to investment as new best in slot combinations are worked out. If you have the gold capital, it may well be worth investing into a few you haven't already. Yes. Throughout this entire expansion, the one thing I've said to people is get as many of the legendary slots leveled up as you possibly can. Only stop reinvesting and stop leveling when you run out of things to upgrade. Mainly because my sales data does seem to indicate that just everything sells. There's not a single slot for any... There's not a single base item that I don't sell. They all, not all of them sell in equal quantities, but they do all sell, meaning that there must be people out there looking to buy a huge variety of different base legendary items. So yes, get them leveled. If you don't fancy the legendary market yourself directly, there's going to be some other opportunities in side markets for farming materials needed for those legendary gold machines. Yeah, this is true to say. One of the nice things about the legendary market is it puts a huge demand on all of the materials, meaning that even if you are not dumping huge stinky amounts of gold into the legendary market to craft the base items and to sell them, there's lots of gold to be made selling the materials to the people that need all of those materials, because I know for a fact that if I do a single restock of rank 6 legendaries on my home realm, I can often need anywhere between 2,000 to 4,000 Korthite crystals for just one restock. There is no possible way I could ever imagine to be able to farm up that quantity of materials myself. It has to be a group effort. This is what is often overlooked when people get deep into crafting. You still need all of the farmers. When all the farmers stop farming, the crafters have to stop crafting. They have no choice. And so this usually means that there's lots of opportunities dependent on what level of gold making you're at right now. If you're just getting going, if you're trying to get some gold together, if you're trying to get that starting capital, getting out there and doing some farming, supplying the materials that all those crafters ultimately need is a good way to get going. It does appear from a crafting alt perspective, especially the armor, that you're going to need to do some rep grinding to get further on with the crafting gear to sell. Yeah, the new Crafter's Mark gear is on the new vendor. You require Honored for Crafter's Mark 4 and Revere. Oh, it says here, Crafter's Mark 4 requires Honored. You also get the Tome of Eternal at Honored. Tome of Eternal is what teaches you how to make the Vestige of Eternal. People deep into Legendaries will be aware of that. Crafter's Mark of the first ones is also going to require Revered. So, to summarise Zereth Mortis for anybody out there crafting, rep grind, lots and lots of rep grind. You're going to want to get not only your main character through Zereth Mortis, you're going to want to get your crafting alts through there as well. At least to do the daily quests, at least to pick up that reputation as fast as possible if you want in on these new crafted gear markets. I do think that it creates quite a high barrier to entry for these things, considering that it's likely to be the last patch of the expansion. I don't think, if I think back to the end of BFA, I don't think Uncanny Gear was especially difficult to acquire. You obviously had the different ranks of Uncanny Gear, which required you to have Marks of Honor to upgrade them. But I don't remember Uncanny Gear being specifically rep gated, but I might be wrong. I can't remember specifically, but considering it's likely to be the last major patch, to be holding back a lot of the crafting up. Let's say, for example, you don't go and do the rep grind. As it stands at the moment, if you don't do the rep grind, there's really not a lot of anything available to you. There's not so many. There's no new potions. There's no new flasks. There's a new feast, sure, but there's not a new. There's not a big influx of new crafted stuff with the new patch. So I do worry about the possibilities and the options for crafters outside of, legendaries being the pinnacle, and then some basic crafted gear. Let's see. Let's hope Blizzard have got a few more things up their sleeve to land on the PTR in the next few weeks. A beginner's guide to gold making then, for those of you that are starting off. Erosium over on YouTube has put together a video going through some of the different methods to make gold, with a little rundown about what's covered. So in this little video, I've not seen this one actually. I think I'm subbed to Erosium. I am subbed to Erosium. You should go check him out as well. He focuses a lot more on sort of transmog and farming over on YouTube, so make sure you check him out. Some of the things covered in this video are callings, weekly world quests, the mission table, big opportunity with the mission table, some auction house selling, gathering professions, flipping on the auction house, crafting professions, transmog farming, mountain toy farming, and believe it or not, it's still a thing, raw gold farming. If you're interested in learning about how to make gold and not sure where to start, this is well worth looking up. And then just pick something off the list that sounds fun to you is Samadan's suggestion. Yes, you should always focus on just simply doing the stuff that you enjoy, even if it's not the most optimal way of doing, of achieving your end goal. If you have fun doing it, you're more likely to be willing to do it for longer, which in turn will give you a much greater chance of actually getting where you want to get with it. So yeah, do something that's fun. Talking of fun, real quick, transmog selling is come up into discussion again this last week. It seems to pop up every other week, the transmog market. I, for one, am quite publicly skeptical about the transmog market generally. I'm very strong of the opinion that it's a niche market that requires a huge amount of time investment to even get anywhere with. Plus, I also feel that most of the time, it's a bit of a snake oil market, I think. People get sold on the transmog market because they see these really big, juicy market values for items, when in reality, the likelihood of you ever seeing that gold in your bags is very, very skinny. I was interested to spot Want to Buy Gold actually over on Twitch streaming the other day, putting some calculations together, trying to work out, well, how can we now accurately value some of these items? Because with less and less people playing the game, it's even the market prices, the realm prices, even region prices are starting to be overly inflated, simply because the way people post these items on the auction house tends to favour them spiralling upwards in price. And as we know, price does not necessarily mean that that is valuable enough for somebody to buy. Often the price is too high. If the price is too high, you won't get that. You won't get that person choosing to buy. Yeah, it's a difficult market to put valuations against. But the topic came up in conversation again over on Reddit. And lots of people chimed in with their success and equally failures within the transmog market. You get a Papal Fez, for example, after 100 Alderman runs, but it could take you 6 months to sell it for half of the price, or 1 month to sell it for a third of the average price. The Skullflame Shield was $1 million and got undercut all the way down to 100k over on Area 52, and it's been like that for months. Now, this is interesting, right? The Skullflame Shield is an item that I know of very well. The reason I know of this very, very well is because I had one and was trying to sell it for a long, long time. Items such as the Skullflame Shield that are farmable to a degree, but still considerably rare, had huge amounts of inflation towards the tail end of BFA. The Skullflame Shield used to be valued at the tail end of BFA, was valued at between 50 to 200,000 gold, roughly. That's what you kind of see it listed for. And this is a really good example of just how inflated things got. It got inflated all the way up to $1 million gold, but then undercut all the way down to 100 gold again. And so people look at the difference between those two prices and think that 100k is like stupidly cheap for this item. When in reality, if you got 100k for a Skullflame Shield at the back end of BFA, that was good news. And that goes to show it's a matter of perspective. And that's why these prices get inflated over time, because the more frequently an item gets posted for a higher and higher price, the more likely it is for somebody else out there to think that that item is actually worth that much. And so when they see it listed for a fraction of that value, a lot of people think that, right, well, this is good value because I remember it being a much higher value. And that's how market manipulation works. There's many one scenario I gave about transmog farming is the best way to sell a really expensive watch is to put it next to an even more expensive watch. The jewelry industry has used this trick for years. If you go into a jeweler's, you will always find the biggest, shiniest, most outrageously expensive watch, necklace, engagement ring, whatever the case may be, next to one that is still expensive, but a lot more reasonable when you compare it against the stupidly expensive one. Kind of like NFTs. Well, there is an element of that, yeah, sure. Somebody might spend $1,000 on an NFT because they've seen one for $300,000 and they think it's cheap. It's cheap in relative terms. You've got to remember that just because one thing is priced at one price and one thing is priced at another, humans have this uncanny ability to create links where they probably shouldn't. And this is where some people take advantage of that. People are doing that with the BFA mounts on my realm. Listed it for 2 million gold for a week. Next week it was 300k. It makes 300k look like an absolute steal. It makes it look like a bargain, especially if you have an add-on such as Trade Skill Master that then tells you that the market price is 2 million gold. You see it for 300k and you're like, yoink, that's a steal. When in reality it was worth 200,000 gold to begin with, and had been for the longest of times. So this is the problem with the transmog market, that it's very easy for it to be manipulated. which is what I don't like about it. I prefer to work with things that are a little bit more grounded in terms of their value. Crafting is a big thing for me. We can usually get a much closer valuation of an item. Its crafting cost is not necessarily the full story, but you know, it puts you in the right ballpark area. It's a lot more quantitative, I think. There's lots of transmog items that are super difficult to evaluate their price for, or their value of, sorry, I should say, because they're so rare or they're so unique in appearance. There's factors that can't easily be quantified, which is why I tend to steer clear of that market quite a lot. There's a lot of comments here from a lot of different people. I'm not going to go through all of them because it would take a week to do so. But Samadan put some overall thoughts on the transmog market, saying, while a lot of the criticism might be directed at YouTube videos for the inflated headlines, in reality, it's knowing what you are getting into and the scale of the operation that's involved. Running on dungeons can be therapeutic, sure. You are easily powerful enough to kill everything, and then getting something potentially worth a lot can be fun. It's an easy first step when you think of what to do when making gold. Yeah, run a whole bunch of past dungeons, power through them, use the fact that you have that overpowered, overgeared character for the content to do it quickly, to do it effectively, and hey, if something valuable turns up, then hey, you might enjoy that aspect of it. You never know, you might even farm up some pets and mounts and things at the same time. Doing those solely for the purpose of gold is a lot less lucrative now than it used to be, with vendor sell prices being what they are, and that you also need a lot of stock and a fair amount of luck to make any reasonable money, which is why I personally never recommend it. Yeah, I think me and Samadan share a very similar opinion on this, that if people are looking to make gold, it's usually because they don't have a lot of gold. If you don't have a lot of gold already, the transmog market is not really a good place to start with. That's not to discredit transmog generally. You can, if you're already wealthy, sure, dabble in transmog a little bit if you enjoy running the old dungeons and farming up some high ticket price items. But I would never recommend the transmog market for anybody that starts with gold making. You want to start with something a lot more reliable, something such as farming materials, current content crafting is a lot more reliable. You have that knowledge before you even go into it, that what you gather up or what you craft, you're going to have a much easier time selling. You could argue that at a high level, transmog market is actually quite a complicated one to get into. Sure, you can circumvent those complications by just gathering 2,000 items, throwing it all on the auction house and just hoping for victory. But I think if you really try to min-max it, the actual list of items that is worth dealing with is probably not much longer than 20 or 30 items. If you really break it down to what actually is valuable, what does sell, and then you can probably say, right, those 20 items, I can get, this one drops here, this one drops there, and you can take it from there. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about transmog selling, there is a video by Want to Buy Gold. Oh, there we go. We were talking about Reckles a little bit earlier. He's focused on gold making through transmog quite a lot over the years, so check out his video for there as well. It's mostly a side hustle for me. Yes, exactly what I would suggest transmog market be. It's a side hustle. Another example I give with transmog market is it's like playing the lottery. Sure, if you play the lottery, you don't expect to win, but if you do, it's nice. You certainly shouldn't play the lottery, though, to get rich. If you're looking to get rich, playing the lottery is not the best way to do it, as your chance of victory is slim to none in most cases, and that's kind of how the transmog market feels to me. If you're already rich, though, sure, go run some dungeons, gather up some high ticket price items, and if and as and when any of them sell, it's a bonus, and that's the way I look at it, at least anyway. some bestsellers of 2021. So the next topic to round off 2021, Penguin has put together a little video from several goal makers. I meant to submit a little video clip for this one. I was asked to. I didn't get round to it. I didn't have time, unfortunately. But a few, I believe Zan, maybe Samadan, maybe. There's a few gold. I've not actually watched the video, but there's a few gold makers that submitted some information on what was their best sellers of 2021. Odds are Legendaries is in there. Odds are Crafter's Mark Gear's in there. I would imagine anything that comes from Shadowlands is probably there. If Dirty Irby's in the video, I would imagine Legendaries is what he would have stated. I'd put money on it. The best sellers are pretty obvious. Most current content stuff has just been really, really good. Now, yeah, cancel scanning's annoying, but we can deal with that. It would have been nice actually to have had a TLDR of what was in the video. Maybe we need to watch it and take a little look at some point. One thing in particular to note is just how diverse the goal making methods are. Do the thing that you enjoy and you'll find your niche. This is something that I'm not very good at promoting, although it's the main thing behind why I make goal making content in the first place, is that I see so many people doing things that they really don't like. The word grind gets used very heavily in the goal making sort of area of the game. What dungeon can I grind? What mobs can I grind? What's the best farm to grind? When honestly, I tend to think that that's really not the best way to focus on it. But do what's fun. Do what you enjoy. If you enjoy it, you're gonna do it for longer. And then finally, some further reading for those that want to dive a little bit deeper in any of the topics. You can head over to the WoW Economy subreddit. You can also jump on the Discord server if you wish as well. But there we go, boys and girls. That was this week's Wowhead Economy Weekly Wrap-Up. This was number 210. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this later on live, not live, sorry, on YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, remember to give the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here. And for anybody watching live on Twitch, we can maybe read through the comments and have a bit of a laugh at the comments. Anyway, in a bit. Of course, we get somebody that wants to be banned within like 10 seconds. I was desperately trying to ignore that random person spamming stupidities in the chat while I finished off my video. Ready for the comments? There's only 4, which means there can't be anything too ridiculous, right? Surely. Somebody, let's get some tunes on the go. Listening to myself for too long now. Somebody pointed out to me that the legendary crafted with the memory of rune carving power will have the unique equipped Shadowlands legendary attribute, just like any other legendary, meaning you cannot wear it alongside another legendary. Nobody has the... That's... No. Yeah, no, okay. The reason that you're not able to verify it right now is because you can't craft the new... You can't craft the new legendary. Nobody so far has got the ability to craft a rank 7 legendary on the PTR. So we don't know. I mean, if that ends up being the case... that craft... No, that just doesn't make any sense. That makes 0 sense, because the whole the restriction with legendaries being able to use 2 legendaries is that one has to be your Covenant legendary. That's the restriction. You can't use 2 random legendaries. one has to be your Covenant legendary. That's what they said to begin with. They can't make it so that if you craft using the Memory of Unity, then that becomes the only legendary. That's just, yeah, that's not going to happen. No. I disagree that most players will stick with the belt. The item level should be equivalent to Heroic Raid. Rank 7 should be way higher. So I think players will want the power on a rank 7, at least on their main character. I tend to agree with this. I tend to agree with this, that if the legendary belt that you buy from the vendor is a fixed item level 265, I think most players will skip it. I think most main characters at very least will skip it. He starts out with somebody told me, which takes away all the credit. Yeah. It's like the whole asking for a friend thing. Yeah, sure. I'm willing to bet that if that's the case, it's probably a bug. One they'll just have to fix by the time 9.2 hits live servers. Haste and Mastery is a... What? Hang on. Haste and Mastery is a relatively good combo on my main. So I'm probably going to take the lazy route and just buy the belt. I don't want to grind the belt on my ults though. So I'll probably save the Soul Ash and Cinders from current content on them. Level 6 is already 262. The belt is a 265. So it's a trade-off I'm willing to take to craft my Covenant Legendary on a ring slot. Yeah, I have no idea what any of that's got to do with this. Nice story, bro. Yeah, I think I'm pretty certain in saying that if the legendary stays this way, if there's no way to upgrade this any further, then your ults maybe. I don't think most people are going to be... This doesn't look like a good go-to item for most. What if the Covenant power you buy acts like a normal legendary power, which means if you put it on another slot, that's your only legendary? Unique Enlightened Legendary. I don't know. This whole charity belt situation is just messy already. You got to remember that the reason that they're giving us charity Legos was in theory to make the system easier and to make it simpler. So that you don't have to craft multiple different legendaries, we're just going to give you one so that most people can just be happy with that. Almost like a catch-up Lego. Yeah, it's really difficult because you never know exactly what Blizzard are trying to do. And the problem is I don't think Blizzard themselves even know what they're trying to do. It would mean not much changes. You still have one legendary, but you can also wear one specific belt. Yeah, the thing is, it's like one of the big selling features of 9.2 is the fact that you can now equip 2 legendaries. It's bad enough that there's the restriction that second legendary has to be your Covenant one. If there's then another layer of complication on top of it, being that, oh, well, actually, if you want your Covenant legendary to be any better than item level 265, you then can't use 2 legendaries again. What happens to those people that are using a Covenant-specific legendary that they've already crafted? Does that mean they don't get to use a second legendary? Because this has to be... If that has to be the second legendary, there becomes no reason to sell the memory. Because I can't imagine there's a situation where not having a second legendary is better than... I mean, like, yeah, 2 legendaries is always better than 1 legendary, even if the power's not great. Because, yeah, for some people, the Covenant legendary powers are pretty naff. But there's never a situation where having 2 is worse than having 1. Even if you're lazy. I don't know. I suppose when I look at it, I'm still running around without a legendary on most of my ults. Because even with the millions of gold, I don't want to waste time and effort crafting something that I don't really care for. It's a real weird situation. It would have been better to not have the item and just let people equip 2 legendaries. Oh, totally agreed. Totally agreed. Their restriction... See, this is the thing, right? Blizzard decided that the restriction was that the second legendary had to be the Covenant one. And so to make that restriction seem easier, they added this. This is another example of a Blizzard but. Yeah. Oh, you can equip a second legendary, but it has to be this one. Nah. I entirely wish that they just let us wear 2 legendaries. Just, you know. Unique equip, max 2. You know, you can equip a maximum of 2 legendaries. System done. Let people play. The Unity legendary in the first place is a solution to a problem that Blizzard caused that didn't need to be there in the first place. I would be more than happy to see it all go away. Because it's unnecessary complication for what people actually want, which is just to be able to pick 2 legendaries, whichever 2 legendaries they want. What's the problem with that? I'll tell you what the problem with that is it becomes a nightmare for Blizzard to balance it, and that's why it's not a thing. It's not done this way. The second legendary that we equip is not the Covenant legendary to make it easier or to incentivize, to provide more fun in the game. It's entirely a restriction based purely on the fact that it makes it easier for Blizzard to balance it. It's another one of those systems that's put into the game, not for the benefit of the player base, but for the benefit of the devs. Which is why I get a bit annoyed about it. Because when you break it down, it's quite easy to see who benefits from this. And it's not the player. And any time a development choice is made that doesn't benefit the player, you have to question whether it's a good choice or not. Because, you know, this is a video game. You're meant to want to play it, and it's meant to be fun. Anytime something goes against that, you know, overall philosophy, it should be questioned. It's a system within a system within a system all over again. It is. I mean, we're what we now? We're over a year into Shadowlands, and how frequently do we see people still buying rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, and rank 6? Because it's not an easy system to understand from the word go. Even the vestige of Origins is still an absolute mystery to some people. On a daily basis, I get questions about the vestige of Origins. How do I get it? How does it work? What can I do with it? We're now going to get a vestige of Eternal. So we're gonna for the legendary system in Shadowlands is going to ultimately have systems within systems within systems. I still get tons of rank 4s plus rank 6 buyouts. Yeah, absolutely. All the time. We want this. Yeah, but we can't do that because it causes X problem. So we create another system to fix to fix that, which causes problem Y. So we create another system so that we end up with problem Z. Why can't they finally just rethink that this problem... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even explaining it's complicated. Yeah. Blizzard are absolute geniuses at creating problems and then selling us the fix to it. And so we go, oh, brilliant, thank you. You know, all of the catch-up systems. All of the catch-up systems are very simply fixes to the problems that they created to begin with. And in the end, they just disable System Z, so you end up with corrupt gear. Yeah. And in patch 10.0, it'll all disappear. It'll all disappear. What's even worse is we used to have to wait until the end of an expansion before a system fully got disabled. Right? Domination, shards of domination will not work in patch 9.2. They'll just turn them off. That's not even, it's not even disabling a system at the end of the expansion. They're literally going to turn it off halfway through the expansion. The system that they implicated in 9.1, they're going to turn it off in patch 9.2. Crazy. It didn't even last, it lasted one patch. An entire system that they'd had to develop. It's such a waste of time and effort. It's unbelievable. Shards of Domination just worked inside the raid. It's not like people cared about that. But to those that did the raid and those that did care about it, it's totally crazy that literally the very next patch, they just turn it off. Oh, so you mean all of that stuff you just worked for? Nope. See you later. Dead. It's just mind-blowing. It's actually mind-blowing. And it's often considered that it's these overly complicated systems that mean that we have to go so long between patches and between actual new content. Now, I know Blizzard is not, you know, an indie development company. They're not 3 or 4 developers building the entire game. There are many teams of developers working on this all independently. But the point still stands is that I can't help but feel in the amount of time and effort that they've put into... Let's look at the systems in Shadowlands that have been implemented and then reverted on. Even 2 patches in, we had the conduit gem things. I can't even remember what the pissing name was for it now. That they got rid of. They pulled the ripcord eventually. Shards of Domination comes in and is now going to be turned off. All of this development time that. They're not even waiting till the end of the expansion. They're literally spending all this time creating something when the player base is telling them that it's shit, we don't want it, and it takes them one patch for them to listen, and then they take it out. Just don't make the shit thing. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss all the way. Lies, there were only 4 devs left. That's actually probably quite true. Problem with the shards is that the percent damage increase. It's not the first time it happens. Yeah. By the time the community hears about it, it's too late. Maybe. I'm sure it is, but... I don't know. I'm in danger of turning this into a rant, which I didn't particularly want it to be. But to summarise, I have my concerns that this new charity belt is going to be another scenario where it's a fix to a problem that they created. It's really simple. Up until patch 9.2. You could only use 1 legendary In patch 9.2, you can use 2 legendaries. Done. Which 2 legendaries you want to choose, you go and play with. If you're overpowered in the last patch of an expansion, don't matter. It's the last patch. You're going to delete everything in patch 10.0 anyway. We know that. The last patch of the expansion is not the time to be creating systems to fix problems. 9.2.5, you can use any 2 Legos. Yeah. Well, that's it. You might be right there. Smooth George might have hit the nail on the head. This might be the complicated system we didn't ask for to make it so that in 9.2.5, when they just let us use 2 legendaries, they get a pat on the back for listening to the community. Oh, I can see it now. Tag on it says Enlightened Legendary, so it's a different class of Lego and a unique equip for that item type. Yeah, true. Yeah, you can only put 1 Unity belt on. Which for anybody that's played Diablo 3, will know that the Unity is actually the Unity. The Unity ring, isn't it? Is actually designed for you to equip one and somebody else to for your follower to equip one, so that you share the damage. So it's interesting that it's unique equip in WoW. I love the devs of the WoW team, and when I talked to them, they were all really, really passionate about the systems they were working on. But maybe that's part of the problem with WoW. I've said this a few times, but I so frequently see the systems that we get in World of Warcraft. They stand out to me as being portfolio pieces. And by portfolio piece, I mean that it's a way for a dev to turn around and say, look at this fancy thing that I did. Not so much, look at this fantastically fun piece of content I created. No, look at this system that I it's like a badge of honor for a Blizzard dev. I worked on this system. I created this system. Whether that then becomes a CV piece or it is, I don't know, who knows, the internal structure for pay rises and bonuses and stuff could all be linked to this in some way, shape or form. But if they just broke things down to is this system fun? And if the answer's no, get rid of it. Is this system necessary? Probably not. Get rid of it. I don't know. But that's maybe also why I'm not a game developer, because I think about things in a different way. Haven't got many portfolio pieces, but you know, our game gets monthly updates, usually pretty major ones, and lots of quality of life. Yeah. If we got, see, this is the thing. I probably wouldn't mind them doing all of this stuff if we got fresh new content on a more regular basis. The fact that it's now almost normal to wait 8 months between patches is a scarily long time. The heavy emphasis on 0.5 patches nowadays is, I mean, I know we've always had 0.5 patches, but most people don't really remember the 0.5 patches for much more than just like a few tweaks here and there, a few bug fixes, that sort of thing. Nowadays, Blizzard try and make the 0.5 patches count because they know that they don't actually have a major piece of content yet. It's 8 months between major content patches in an MMO that you pay for monthly it's difficult when there's lots of other games out there nowadays. Even the most positive WoW players have felt the patch cycle. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, how can you not? in a game that incentivizes you to log on. See, this is the thing. It's kind of, if anything, the more dedicated players, the more positive WoW players to the game feel it more so. It would not be so bad if there was 8 months between major content patches, if you were able to play for a month, consider it done, move on, play something else for a while, come back when the new patch is out. But the problem is everything in-game is telling you, you have to log on every day. You have to play this every day. You have this reputation to grind. You have this currency to grind. You have to log in every day. And when you get forced into a situation, into a cycle where you are logging in every day, if you then go an extended period of time without any new content, it just slowly but surely chips away at your enthusiasm for the game. It's like they're two, they're two things that don't synchronize well together. If you're going to incentivize somebody to log in every day, to do something every day, the ownership is also on Blizzard to make sure there's something to do every day that's not a repetitive grind. Mythic Plus, I love the system overall. I don't engage with it much, but Mythic Plus was designed so that you have something new to do every day. The problem is if they don't release new dungeons, if they don't change the affixes frequently enough, there's 30 every days in a month, in 8 months there's over 200 every days. If you're playing exactly the same Mythic Plus dungeons, with the exact same Mythic Plus affixes, 200 days in a row before you get something new, it's not surprising that you're gonna lose your passion for it, for sure. COVID messes an already bad cultural workflow speed more than Blizzard would admit it. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think COVID can be used as an excuse, because if that was the case, the entire gaming industry would be the same. But it's not. It's not. Every other game developer, most other game developers out there, most of the time they were already working remotely. That wasn't a big adjustment for game developers. Like, it's just not. The rest of the industry is still continue to bang out new games and publish new content. I'm sure it didn't help. But if you're comparing apples against apples, it's not a thing. Anyway, I'm definitely ranting. I think, though, boys and girls, I am going to leave it there for today. I know it's been a slightly shorter stream. I wanted to get on and get my auctions relisted. I wanted to go through the Wowhead economy report for the week. I've still got a blinding headache, which I need to get rid of. I need to go take a painkiller and take a nap and get rid of this headache. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you all for joining. I hope you had fun. Even though they do end up getting a bit ranty, I do like getting into these discussions, because hopefully we can find some positives in there somewhere, sometimes, occasionally. But yeah, what day is it tomorrow? Tuesday. I'm only here for the rants. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's the discussion pieces that I actually enjoy quite a lot. I try to keep the ranting to a minimum. But anyway, either way, thanks for joining us today, boys and girls. Make sure if you haven't already, you hit that follow button. We've had a whole influx of new followers recently, which is nice to see. We've also had a reasonably higher than average viewer count. So hopefully I'm doing something right, or at least more people are coming back to WoW, or whatever the case may be. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be continuing doing what we're doing. We may focus a little bit more on Project Draenor tomorrow. to get up and running with legendaries over there. Oh, and we got a raid just right at the very end of the stream. How we doing, Derp? Thanks for the raid, my man. Appreciate it. With a party of 11.
Is that your wallet?
You have
just
joined
glad to see me.
literally the very
Both, I
second
hope.
I'm finishing the stream. Oh, and Woo with the Prime Gaming sub for 5 months. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. Take us to raid somewhere else. Is there anybody else on right now? Yeah, Woo's back. Guess who's back? Back again. Let's take a little bit of a look. Is there anybody else on right now? This is not really the hour of the day for many people to be streaming. I usually don't have many people to pass the stream on to, if I'm honest. Yeah, I can't see who's. Is there a Tomcat on? We'll go say hi to Tomcat. Either way, though, boys and girls, I'll leave it there for today. Thank you all for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun. Enjoy your goal making, and I'll see you all tomorrow. In a bit. Peace.